Hearthstone's mini sets have been replaced by a new concept of class sets, something that allows Blizzard to give more cards to individual classes than just 3 per mini set. Instead, we are going to be getting 4 classes that will be getting 7 cards apiece to give new deck ideas or support to pre existing decks. Now, the 4 classes that are going to be covered in this class set are going to be Druid, Hunter, Paladin, Mage, 3 of which that are really high tier meta strategies right now. So let's see how big of a change this class set will bring. We're going to be starting off with the Mage cards first because they were revealed last. The Mage Legendary is going to be the Arcanomicon, which is a 7-cost arcane spell. Get all 3 ley lines, choose an upgrade for your ley lines. These upgrades are going to be increase the effect by 2, reduce their cost, or make them trigger additional time. And then the 3 ley lines are going to be Bursting Ley Line that deals 4 damage to a random enemy minion, doing excess damage it hits to the enemy hero. Then summon a 6-cost random minion or draw a card and it costs 1 less. It is worth mentioning with these cards, you could theoretically fit this into a Cindergosa Mage list, since these are all arcane spells to either discount them even further or get additional triggers on them, since Enterprise should theoretically allow you to trigger things exponentially, similar to what we saw with a Dummy Warrior. Also, for this package, we have Leywalker, a 3-cost minion with the battle cry. Your ley lines cost 1 less this game. Death Rattle, get a random ley line. Surging Needle, battle cry. Your ley lines trigger additional time this game. And finally, Mystic Rune Saber, which is a battle cry minion that increases the effects of your ley lines by 1 this game. Between all of these cards, I think the ley line deck will be actually quite powerful, especially since you will be able to trigger them twice due to Malagos or Cinderghost. I can't remember which one, which means each individual one will trigger exponentially, since you can, at minimum, without randomly generating additional copies of any of these cards. Now for Druid, starting off with their legendary, Bashana Runetotem, a 7-cost for battle cry. Get 3/2/2 trance, carve 12 mana worth of nature spells into them. And because you can't actually choose what these spells are going to be, this is probably going to be the weakest legendary of the entire bunch, especially since we haven't really seen any other trance support in these cards. The other Druid card here is going to be Wizened Wild Speaker, a 5-cost 3-attack 7 HP taunt battlecry. If you didn't play a minion last turn, refresh 3 mana crystals. This is kind of cool for a low minion count list. If you find a way to discount this down to maybe say 1 mana using something like Corona, then this has a lot of potential to essentially give you some type of mana cheat or just give you a big enough wall. Similar to the last card, we have Heart or Root Stones, a 3-cost nature spell. Draw a card, gain 3 armor. If you didn't play a minion last turn, do it again. This is a neat idea that Druid hasn't really done in the past, though it is something that gives you bonus effects for doing something over 2 turns, which is kind of cool. I do kind of wish this card got a little bit more support. Maybe the legendary was something in tune with this. However, as it currently stands, this is probably still the best Druid card in this class set. Next card we have here is going to be Ashworm, a 1-cost 6/6 beast. Start Storm when your board is full awaken. Man, Ashworm, more like Assworm. This card is bad. If Quest was good, then I could see a world where this sees play, but right now you really struggle in that list to fill up your board with a lot of minions. We also got here Seeding Dragon, a 4-cost 4 attack 4 HP dragon. Taunt and Death Roll, get a random dragon that costs 2 less. Now, this is a perfectly fine card for Dragon Druid. It is one of those things where you would probably still want to use Illusionary Greenwing over something like this, but a little bit of mana cheat can go a long way because there are a lot of powerful high-cost dragons currently in Standard. Now, one of the more weird cards that Druid has access to is going to be Tranquil Clearing, a 2-cost 2 durability location. Give a minion +2 health and taunt. It falls asleep until the end of your next turn. This is fine for like an egg druid list, but outside of that, I don't see a world where this sees too much play. Could be fun. That is one strategy that I've tried to explore before, but never had really too much success. The final druid card is the Life Bloom, which is an iconic Druid Warcraft ability, a 9 cost nature spell that restores 8 health to all friendly characters summoned to random 8 cost minions. I don't think you're going to ever want to hard run this, but theoretically you could if you don't have any other better 9 cost card to run instead of this for a police trigger. The next card we have here is Arator the Redeemer, a capstone legendary for Dude Paladin, a 5 cost battlecry minion. Double the stats of all friendly Silverhand recruits and give them taunt. And you might be wondering, why would we care about giving a 1-1, basically 1-1 additional stats? Well, we also will be seeing Emboldening Blade, a 5 cost weapon, 3 attack, 2 durability. Give your Silverhand recruits +1/+1 this game. I think this card would be perfect if it cost 1 less, but as it currently stands, this is going to be later into the game, but who knows? We are seeing a bunch of Dude Paladin support, such as these cards. Resilient Saber, a 3 cost 3 attack 1 HP Draenei. Divine Shield. After this loses Divine Shield, give your Silverhand recruits +1 health this game. And we also have Brash Battlemaster, a 2 cost rush minion. Death Rattle, give your Silverhand recruits +1 in this game. Between these cards, you can make your Silverhand recruits pretty big. These are aura effects, so they shouldn't be able to be silenced, which would make it even harder to get rid of them. Honestly speaking, I do have a pretty soft spot for Dude Paladin, so I can't wait to play around with these cards. The last 3 Paladin cards are Convalesce, a 2 cost holy spell. Summon 2 1/1 Silverhand recruits with Divine Shield, making your recruits that you summon off this a little bit more sticky. And given the fact that you can get them pretty high with the previous cards, this should be pretty good. We also have Teamwork that summons and gets 4 1/1 Silverhand recruits, so you have a way to refill your board if your opponent does AoE it. And finally, we have Charity, a 3 cost spell that gets copies of all friendly minions that died this game. Give them +2. Give them +3/+3. This is the card that I'm really excited for, but I don't know where this currently fits. There has to be some wombo combo with a card like this that you can make use of it. But currently, as it stands, I think this just kind of slots into anything where you can purposely trigger a bunch of death rattles on a given turn or other onboard effects. Now for Hunter, probably the style of deck that I'm most excited for, starting with Talya Earthstrider, a 5 cost Battlecry minion. Your cards that summon animal companions summon 1 more this game. And you might be wondering, why am I so excited for a card like this? Well, we have Tame Pet, a 1 cost, replace your future animal companions with random beasts that cost 1. That costs 1 more. Draw a card. And this is such a cool idea of a deck. This is a deck that I'm amazed we haven't seen something like this in the past with, since it is a very iconic Hearthstone card from the classic set that a lot of times have been revisited for newer cards. If it was only that one spell that would increase the cost of our beasts, then this deck would probably really do nothing, but there are other ways to increase the cost of the animal companion beasts that we are getting. Migrating Elk is another one, which is a taunt cry. Battle cry, replace your future animal companions with beasts that cost 1 more. We have Roam Free, which is a 7 cost spell that replaces your future animal companions with random beasts that cost 2 more. Choose 1 to summon. With this, I think this one is probably high cost to see too much play, but you might want to just run as many of these as humanly possible. And finally, as another way to summon an animal companion, we have Spirit Speaker, a 4 cost battlecry. Choose a animal companion to summon. We also have things like Brawl and a few other cards that summon animal companions, which will allow this deck to be a fully functional thing. What other style of classic Hearthstone cards would you like to see a full deck around? Let me know down below. The last 2 Hunter cards we have are Wasteland Vanguard, a battlecry minion that deals 3 damage split among all enemies. If they die, deal 3 more. It's alright. For 4 mana, I don't think it'll see much play. And finally, we have Nurturing Nature, a 2 cost nature spell that gives a friendly beast +2/+2, give a random beast in your hand +2/+2. If we get some more hand buff support, this is pretty good. If not, this has potential for the future. All right, so those were all the cards for the class set for Cataclysm. Let me know if you prefer these class sets or you prefer the mini sets. Honestly speaking, I kind of would have preferred more cards or pools similar to the Druid one over ones that are just going to be one type of deck. Since there isn't much deck building that you can do, and honestly, mini sets I just like better because then every class could get something new to play around with. But until next time, before we end the video, special thanks to our channel members of Daniel and Nascimento and Ruben. If you want to help out the channel a little bit more, you can always join one of the 3 membership tiers. If you can't afford to do that, there's always leaving a like, commenting, subscribing, turning on notifications, or using the new hype button. They all help out the channel equally. But until next time, bye bye.